Hey everybody, this is Lucas from Global Truckster doing a video on some data that I collected using the WingtraOne Fixed-Wing VTOL UAV. The reason I want to do this video is to show you kind of the data that you can expect from the drone itself, as well as some sample calculations, some volumetric calculations, and Pix4D here. So first things first, I'll go over, this is the map view where you can see our flight lines of our flight. A little bit about our flight. It was about 13 minutes from takeoff to landing. We covered about 72 acres in 270 photos here. My side and front overlap were both 70. The Wingtra brings us data in WGS84, 0 meters above the ellipsoid. And then my output coordinate system was NAD3 UTM zone 11. All my photos were geotagged using Wingtra's app, Wingtra Hub. It's a free app that you can use, and basically all you have to do is have your raw static session going during your flight, about 50 minutes before, 50 minutes after. I would always recommend more, because especially if you're on a known point, because the longer you are, if you go through PPP and again to post-process that base location, you're going to be a lot more accurate. So you put in your photos from your SD card directly from your Wingtra. It'll ask you for your Rhinex file as well as your post-process base location, and then it'll geotag the photos for you and give you its estimated accuracy. So for this flight, we had about 4 centimeter vertical and about 5 or 6 centimeter, or 4 centimeter horizontal, about 5 or 6 centimeter vertical accuracy. And then so you can see our flight lines here. We started right here. My drone took off vertically from right here in the parking lot of the site. It loitered up at, transitioned at 150 feet, loitered around to 400, and then came here, started its flight, and then ended its flight here, flew back, loitered down to 150 feet, reached me, did its transition, and came down vertically here. So first thing you'll notice is the flight lines are extremely straight, extremely accurate as well. Not a single missed photo, and very consistent in the spacing. The only skew you may have will be in the, if it's windy conditions, when it's banking at the end of your flight lines. This is due to, the Wingtra sometimes banking a little bit harder depending on how hard it has to fight into the wind, which is why I'd always recommend setting your flight plan for a little bit outside of exactly what you want to cover, just to ensure that you always have that great detail. So if we go to our ray cloud right here, I can show you our cameras as well. So you can see here, very straight, very straight here. Very good flight lines, and I did no editing to this point cloud besides just putting it straight in from Pix4D and letting it process everything itself. And then we go back, so this is our densified point cloud right here. So first thing you will notice is the accuracy of your densified point cloud. It's extremely high resolution. Again, shot at 400 feet. You can see everything from the tire tracks to virtually everything in your project at extremely good detail. This helps a lot, not only for your volume calculations, but also for just inspection purposes and be able to monitor your site exactly how you want to monitor. So I'm just going to quickly turn on the mesh here, and then I'll kind of just run through a little bit of an overview of the project to see the detail, and then I'll come back and we'll do some volume calculations. And then this is where we actually took off, was right here. You can see the 3 of us, and then you can actually see my base station running right here. Reason we took off here was since it is a silica site, you cannot be on the site unless you have PPE as well as a full respiratory mask and go through all the safety procedures. So I said, instead of that, because we can get that very high accuracy without ground control points, let's just launch it from the parking lot, which is a very confined space with power lines running through it. But because the Wingtra does that vertical takeoff and land, we're pretty much the only fixed wing that you'll be able to do that with. We launched it vertically straight up, and like I said, 13 minutes from takeoff to land, I covered about 72 acres in this flight, with which you can see here. So I did a little sample calculation of the area here. So you can see here it's about 290,000 square meters, which is very close to about 72 acres. And again, that's all in a single flight. So now I want to go through some of the volume calculations in Pix4D, because that's obviously very important here. So if you click volume calculation right here, You can see I already have 2 volumes that I've already done. So volume 1's right here. You can see the red is going to be the cut volume and the green is going to be the fill. You just set your points all the way around. Some general settings. This is for your base surface. It was triangulated. So triangulated is best when it's a very flat surface, and it's going to do its best to take into account all the points and align them appropriately on what your base is. Same thing with fit plane. If you're on an angle of some sort, you can use fit plane to account for that. And then these are the aligns. You can align with a certain point on your base here. So if I choose this one, I can align with the lowest point on that one, and it's going to use that height as the lowest point, and anything above that's going to be the cut, and anything below is obviously going to be the fill. So I'm just going to delete this one here, and I'll show you a quick sample on how we're going to do that. So we click here to add a new volume. You can see I have all my vertices, and I just select all the way around my project. You can do as many or as little as you want. Depending on how accurate you want, depends on how careful you want to be. So it's totally up to the end user on that. And then I right click to finish it. You can see here, let's bring that back up. On my settings, I'm just going to leave that triangulated because it is a flat ground. And then I just click compute. And it might take 5-10 seconds. You can see here it's calculating my cut and my fill. And then it gives you my total volume right there. So just like that, in 10 seconds, I have my fill volume. One of the big advantages of the Wingtra, because of that accuracy without ground control points, I can get these volumes from 400 feet with that 42 megapixel camera. So I get extremely high, accurate, and high resolution volumes from very, very high in the sky. Meaning I can cover very large areas or very small areas. It doesn't really matter. Both are going to be extremely, extremely accurate. So that's how you can calculate, do simple volume calculations in Pix4D. It's very, very simple and very easy to use. You can do more advanced volume calculations on stuff like this. You said to be more careful on where you're aligning your lowest point is on your height. So that's more on the end user to decide where the base of your stockpile is and where it is not. One other thing I want to go over, you can see our Wingtra is not going to pick up anything on the sides of these buildings here, and that's because it is not a gimbal system. It is a mapping drone, so it shoots 90 or 90. It shoots straight down. If I wanted to, calculate volumes of buildings and stuff like that, I would use a UAV where you can set it at 90 or 40, 45, whatnot, and then fly around, and that's how you get the resolution. But for us, we just want the stockpile volumes, and so the Wingtra is the best drone on the market for that, especially for sites like this, because it'll give you the versatility that you need in order to use it at different locations, different spots, but also get that high resolution volume calculations consistently and very, very fast. One other thing you can do is I can actually export these bases out. So I can export my base surface, and what it can do is I can import that base surface back into my next project if I keep flying this site. And what it's going to do is going to tell you the difference between the two volumes, so you can see how much your stockpile has changed. The only thing you can do is you probably need some ground control points for that, 1, 2, or 3, just to confirm the location, tighten that up a bit, which is easily done if that's something that you desire. So again, that's just a general overview of our Wingtra drone and our mine site here. Extremely, extremely high resolution camera quality. Quite frankly, it's unmatched for the speed, the easy use of the drone, as well as the height that it's flying at. You won't find anything that is going to give you this kind of detail and this kind of accuracy. So if anyone has any more questions about this, please just give me a call, Global Trucks, or send me an email, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. But that's just a general overview of the site here and how to do some sample volume calculations. Thank you.